Let me take you around how I made this delicious homemade crunchy milky chin chin. In this video, I'm going to be using 8 cups of multi-purpose flour, and the first thing I'm going to be doing here is to sieve my flour. For everyone who will be needing the ingredients and the measurements, it will be at my descriptions. And if this is the first time you are coming across my video, please like, comment, share and subscribe for others, and make sure you turn on the notification bell so that whenever I post video, you will be the first person to see it. So now, after I've sieved the flour, I'm going to keep a little part of it, so that when I'm working on the dough, I'll have something, to sprinkle my table and work on. In this video, I'm not going to be making use of measuring tools because I already know all the measurements I want to use for this particular chin chin. When you know the measurements you want to use for your work, it just makes it easier. Now I'm adding half spoon of salt. Now this spoon here is a very big spoon, and if you are using a measuring spoon, I would suggest you use the smallest spoon of the measuring spoon. And this is baking powder. I'm also adding half of this spoon. This is a tablespoon and it's a very big spoon. Now this is my nutmeg, and I'm going to be using a very little of it because I don't really like the smell at all. Now I'm using powdered milk instead of you can use milk flavor if you have, and this powdered milk here is full cream, and the two I'm using is 28 gram in total. So you can see this is why I said is a milky chin chin, because everything I'm going to be using in this particular and everything I'm going to be using for this particular chin chin are full cream. Now this is my sugar. This sugar is 2 cups and I'm going to be using just 1 cup. Now people will ask, why do you just fetch the sugar? Why don't you use measuring? I already tell you, I already know the measurement I'm going to be using for everything. So this is my margarine, and this particular margarine is 250 gram. So I'll just cut and use a little bit of it, and the little I'm using will be like 100 gram, and the remaining one will still be around 150 gram if you measure it. Now you mix the margarine with your flour. Make sure you mix very well because you want to avoid it being fluffy and flour and margarine or butter being separated from each other. Now that everything is mixed together, I'm going to be using 3 eggs. Now these eggs are small eggs, so if you are going to be using bigger egg, you can just use 2 eggs, but for this particular chin chin, I'm going to be using 3 eggs in total, and I'm going to be using an evaporated milk, and this milk here is also full cream and is liquid. Now the reason why I'm adding the liquid together with the egg is because I don't want the water I'm going to be using for the chin chin to be too much. So I'm going to be mixing the egg and the milk together so that the water won't be too much and the chin chin won't be too watery. It will help me to maintain the amount of water I want to use. Now I make a hole in the middle and I will add the egg and the milk in the middle of it. Now I will match everything together. Now you can see that even with the egg and the milk that I added to it is almost okay. I don't really need any water again. That is why I said it's best to add your milk and your egg together. But if you like to separate them, it's okay, but it will save you from adding too much water to your dough, and it will help it to come out good. Now when you are mixing together, I know it might be difficult, for it since it's hard, but you can just leave it and keep mixing together. You don't really need water, but for me to free my hand, I'll just go ahead and add a pinch of water. You can see I added just a pinch of water and my hand is free already, because I don't like how everything is so sticky to my hand. Now you can see that it's still looking somehow, it's not that fluffy the way I want it. So it's time for me to put it on the table, on my work table, and match together well, so that we'll get that fluffy side. Now is to match together. Now you match it together so that it will be fluffy, and your chin chin will come out looking well, and everything will be able to mix together. We added egg, we added milk, different kind of varieties of full creams, so we want everything to look okay. Now after matching together, you can go ahead and keep it in a bowl and cover it. You can just keep it for like 10 to 15 minutes and it will be ready to work. Now this particular chin chin is homemade, it's for me to eat at home. I don't want it to be too flat, I don't want it to be too big, I just want it in a medium size. That is why I'm cutting it like this. If it's something you want to sell, I will advise you roll it flatter and you get a cutter to be able to cut it to the size you want. Now make sure everything comes out in the same shape. You don't want some parts to be small while some parts are big. Now you can see the way I'm cutting it. You can go ahead and cut everything together at once, but for me, I like to cut everything one after the other so I can get that beautiful shape. You can see the way I'm using my hand as a measurement to get that particular shape I want for it. Now make sure when you are rolling your chin chin or while you are cutting, you make use of flour. You can see the way I make use of plenty flour. My chin chin is coming out one. It's not sticking together. That is what I want. I don't want everything sticking together. You can see everything I'm using here is very neat. Everything is very clean. Now it's time to fry. Now before you put your chin chin inside your groundnut oil, make sure the oil is very hot. You can see I only added one chin chin to be sure if the oil is hot and is ready, and you can see it's hot and is ready. Make sure it's very hot so that your chin chin will not go ahead and suck all your groundnut oil and your chin chin will come out tasting groundnut oil. You can see now. Make sure you stir it consistently. Now consistency is the key in chin chin. That's why you see some people, they will fry chin chin, some half will be brown while some half will still be struggling to be brown. Now make sure you stir it consistently. Now our chin chin is ready and you can see the color is golden brown. That is how I love my chin chin. You can still leave your chin chin to be brown, to be more darker than this, but I love it in this color, golden brown. So what do you think? If you love this beautiful and amazing video, Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notification bell to see more of my video.